straight road wins for the Sixers. They keep the good times rolling away from the Wells Fargo Centers. We welcome you here to Sixers Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance, Amy Fadool, Jim Lynam, and Marc Jackson. And this was a good win. Yes, I know it's the Spurs, and they are not as talented they're certainly not as experienced as the Sixers. They have 4 19-year-olds on their roster. But a win is a win, Jim, and it's important to not overlook a team like this, given who you have to play.
Yeah, the Sixers, I thought, were strictly about business. Their offense, very, very good, efficient all night. And I thought Doc made a good move, going to the bench a little early and giving them a little more extended playing time in the first half. And you saw what they did with it, particularly Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, we saw an early kind of hesitation, or you're thinking there's a couple of turnovers, the Spurs jumped out, and you're thinking, not again, Mark, but they didn't. They righted the ship. They come away with the win and start this road trip in style.
They really did. Sixers came on, Dick took care of their job, did what they supposed to do, this inferior team, and they got on from the beginning of the game, and they finished it out that way. Great job at the bench, getting our guys extra rest from the starters.
Well, let's check out one of those players, the maybe 6th man of the year, or certainly in the running for it, Tyrese Maxey.
All right, well, it's Texas Tyrese joining us after a win over the Spurs. We know you're from South Garland, Tyrese, but how nice is it to just be back in Texas playing ball?
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's great to be back in the great state of Texas, man. The Maxey!
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, but it's great to be back here, man.
Tell me a little bit about what it's like to go up against a team that's young, they've struggled a little bit. How do you get up for a team like that when they sometimes catch other teams off guard?
Yeah, you got to be on your P's and Q's, man. You know, they play extremely hard the entire game. As you can see, whoever comes in the game is going to play the right way and play extremely hard. So you got to execute your stuff.
Let's talk about the guy who just kind of came over to you a second ago, D'Anthony Melton, because I know on the outside, a lot of folks are talking about how you guys are trading spots in the starting lineup and coming off the bench, but you guys have a really close relationship. Can you share a bit about that with all of us?
Yeah, that's my man, 50 grand, dog. I love him to death. I get on him all the time about passing up shots. There was a play in the first half where somebody switched on him, they switched back, and he was reluctant to shoot it, and I'm on the bench like, shoot the ball, and he shot it, and he made it. So, you know, he's sacrificed, man. We're teammates. We love each other, we're brothers. At the end of the day, sometimes we're going to be in the game together, sometimes we won't. We root for each other, and that's what it's all about.
Well, come see me after the game. I got burgers for you.
I see you. I'm looking to my left right now.
There you go.
We see you, Tyrese.
All right, y'all.
Congrats on the win. Great work.
Yeah.
My man, 50 grand. Let's check out Tyrese Maxey, though. He's the subject of our Yingling Presents Lager Up. And, Jim, you talked about the bench unit, how they came in. They got an extended run, led by 25 from Maxey. They had almost half the points from the Sixers. So when you're thinking about maybe sending a message, a unit that can put up 60-plus is a pretty good message to send.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you are a little leery that your starters might take a team, you know, for granted. And these bench guys, you know, they're usually raring to go if you're in a position where you're confident in them and you can give them that extra playing time. And I think it was a good example tonight. And this is another case where the Sixers bench is strong, Amy, particularly. You bring Tyrese Maxey off your bench. To me, that's a statement.
Yes, it is. Check out his numbers here, Mark. 25 points, 8 of 15. You can see those 3-point numbers. That's good. He's going to like that, the free throws. And most importantly, maybe the 4 assists to 0 turnovers.
Absolutely, Amy. We discussed this last couple of games. He was on his little downhill, and I told you, don't worry. He'll get it right. And what I tell you, this is what he does. You know why? Because Maxey is a young gun. He doesn't worry about last game. He worries about now. And we have that kind of young mentality, the world is yours. You know, you're going to have up and downs, but you know the next day is always going to bring sunshine, and so is your game.
Ooh, I like that.
Write that down.
I am going to write that down.
I'm going in the bag for that one. Got to pay more for that.
Let's check in with Doc Rivers, the reigning Coach of the Month from San Antonio.
I'm not great at math, but I think your bench has 67 points.
Yeah.
And they were instrumental in
Yeah, our bench in both times. First half, I thought they stretched the lead, and then in the second half, they stretched the lead. And then, unfortunately, that last group, we had to bring back the starters, which I absolutely hate. Papa and I were actually talking about that at the end. We were asking what's our number to bring guys back, and we both said field 12, you know, in that area. So, but overall, it was a good win. Defensively, you know, they shot 58%. This is the second game now. I think we won a game where a team shot 64. Tonight they shot 58. So we have some work to do.
Yeah, what are kind of the biggest things?
I just thought they beat us off the dribble a lot tonight. They were more aggressive. They got downhill a lot. And they made shots. I mean, give them credit. You know, Pops, these guys are young. They play hard. You know, they've been struggling. They haven't lost their spirit, which is a great sign. So, yeah, it's good.
Talked about Tyrese being a little quieter than we're used to during that Orlando series. How much to see him sort of fire up?
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't that concerned. You know, he played great. He played downhill a lot. Was the aggressor a lot, and that's what we need. Him and Shake, I tell you, when they come in the game, you better get your feet ready because they both are aggressive and they're going downhill.
Yeah, are you starting to figure out like what combinations you like? Because yeah, you went to the all bench unit, but then there have been other times, obviously, where you mixed.
Yeah, we like the all bench unit when we can get away with it, you know. And then typically, you know, every once in a while we'll have one of the starters in. But that unit's been great. They've earned their minutes. We're gonna allow them to keep playing. Thank you. All right.
See what happens when you have a nice, easy win like that? The media is very friendly to you. And he said it like, listen, that unit earned it. And they did on a night like this. Is it nice to see some of those guys get the reward of extra playing time, Mark?
Absolutely. It's good to see. And, you know, it's even better when you know, like we spoke about it, when you have a bench that can contribute in big ways. It's not just flukes or some games they have in some games. You got Maxey coming off the bench, who's an NBA starter. You got Shake Milton. I mean, that's a great backcourt coming off the bench. That's points. And then George Niang, Montrezl Harrell, Matisse House, who you want in there. This bench gives Doc Rivers the opportunity to rest guys a few extra minutes than he normally would.
I mean, when you're looking also, something that we talked about in the pregame show is getting wins on the road. They had that bear of a West Coast trip where they won 5 straight. Obviously, that goes back now. It's their 8th straight road win. You can say what you want about the caliber of opponent, but Jim, most importantly is that you get these wins when you can, especially on the road.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they have the ability to do, and they do it pretty consistently. They put a lot of pressure on your defense because they come at you in a lot of different ways. Like you just mentioned, you and Mark speaking about Maxey and Milton, and you heard Doc say they were both going downhill tonight. These two guys shot 14 free throws in this game, 7 apiece. And that's just another facet of how good this offense is and how many different ways they can hurt you.
Yeah, it's something when you think about when people talk about the overall scheme of where the Sixers are in the standings, and it's going to come down to games like this and getting contributions from other people from the bench, but also beating the teams that you're supposed to beat, whether it's on the road, at home. An 8-game road win streak is nothing to sniff at, even if it is against lesser opponents, so to speak.
Listen, I don't care. If they got an NBA jersey, then that still counts as a win, and it counts as a loss if you don't get them. So you have to take every opponent seriously. And what I've learned from in this game is the closer to after All-Star break, that's when teams start to kind of pick it up a little bit. They turn that fire up a little bit. Not saying they don't do it all year, but I've learned the mentality sort of changes for teams that's competing for championships.
Absolutely. You got to have that mindset. And you see the Sixers maybe getting that mindset ready right now as we approach the All-Star break.